Let's bring in Republican Senator Bill Hagerty. He's a member of the Foreign Relations Committee and a former U.S. ambassador to Japan. This revelation that it was not ISIS-K fighters, but basically a van load of children, mostly, killed by that drone strike. What does that say to you, Senator?
John, it's heartbreaking to hear this. It's yet another failure of intelligence on our part. And what we're seeing is mistake after mistake in execution, and also just a massive lack of accountability on our side.
Is it possible that the Taliban were in some way involved in the targeting of this strike? I mean, we have been leaning on the Taliban for information. Supposedly they are the mortal enemies of ISIS-K. Is it possible that the Taliban in some way provided the information that led to this strike?
I'm aware of that possibility. I think it's a sad state of affairs if we indeed are relying on the Taliban for intelligence for something as critical as this. And the result, as you can see, the loss of 10 innocent lives, 7 children, an aid worker trying to help. This is just a tragedy, and it's an embarrassment to America as a nation. And we've got to find a way to address this in a much more responsible way.
I suppose you could call this an over-the-horizon response, an over-the-horizon drone strike. That's what President Biden says we're going to be relying on as we handle, the future developments in Afghanistan. What do you think about that prospect?
It's deeply concerning. I mean, we've given up our posture on the ground there. Of course, we have a much weaker intelligence posture today than we did before. This whole execution has been nothing but a catastrophe, and again, a complete lack of accountability on our side with respect to it.
The Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, appeared in front of your committee earlier this week. He got quite a grilling from senators. I want to play some of that for our viewers right now.
The execution of the U.S. withdrawal was clearly and fatally flawed. There has to be accountability.
Never in my worst nightmares did anyone or conceive of such a colossal incompetence.
This was a complete debacle.
Just like Jimmy Carter owns the disaster of the Iran hostage crisis, you own this.
So even some bipartisan criticism of the administration here.
Indeed, John.
Add your thoughts to that montage.
Well, it's tragic. What we've seen in our allies is the Dutch foreign minister stepped down this week. The same for the British foreign minister. Both have stepped down. They've stepped down over their role or their lack of accountability for Afghanistan. They've stepped up and taken responsibility. A big part of leadership, John, is owning the problem. Yet the only accountability that we've seen from the Biden administration thus far has been one lone lieutenant colonel who actually called for accountability. He's been dismissed, he's been relieved of his duties, but we've seen no senior leadership in the Biden administration step up and take responsibility. At the end of the day, this is at the feet of the commander-in-chief, who, by the way, is on vacation this weekend.
Yeah, you know quite a bit about foreign relations, having been ambassador to Japan. The French recalled their ambassador to the United States. First time that has ever happened over this nuclear deal with Australia, a nuclear submarine deal. What do you think about the way that the administration has handled this apparent business and arms deal?
Well, the diplomatic aspects that have upset the French, I can understand. I do believe it's an overreaction, though. Perhaps the Biden administration could have communicated better with them, to have kept them in the loop. I'll leave that for another day. But as I look at what's happening in the Indo-Pacific, I'm completely supportive of what we're doing to increase Australia's capability, to bring the UK into the fold as well, because China continues to march on. And the deal that we've struck with Australia, with the UK and ourselves is going to advance our capability so that we're ever stronger in the Indo-Pacific region. We need to be doing that.
Just about 3 short months ago, it was all happiness and light between President Biden and the French President Macron. Listen to this flashback from early June.
And I think it's great to have the US president part of the club and very willing to cooperate.
As I've said before, we're back. The U.S. is back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the U.S. is definitely back, according to the president, and now the French have recalled their ambassador. What does that say?
Well, it's similar to what I heard when I went to visit NATO just about 2 weeks ago, the same as I went to the UK. The whole Biden administration approach is actually taking us away from our allies. It's crumbling. it's crumbling our cooperation with our allies. NATO is extraordinarily concerned that they can't rely on us anymore as a nation. The world needs a strong America. We can't be leading from behind again, and that's exactly what they're seeing. I think they regret comments like President Macron made. America is not back in the way that we need to be back. America is stronger and safer when we lead from the front. That was the case in the prior administration, and we're seeing a complete reversal of that trend right now.
Senator Bill Hagerty, also former ambassador, thank you very much.
Thanks, John.